go. Man, sometimes the streaming encoder drips out and the stream doesn't start. You gotta pay attention to that. Okay, cool. So, what have we done here? We've done the battery exploding, but we've only done the large battery. We need to do another one, which is the small battery. Okay, exploded top. I'm gonna hide this, hide the camera, hide the light. Don't need any of that. And there we go. Antoine. Good day. Okay, that's good. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna separate this in a smart way. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna grow it by 1. And then P separate by selection. And then in here, I'm gonna take this, drop it down, and there we go. Now we got the bottom piece. Perfect. Now, this is bottom. Antoine, how far are you with the container? Is that done? Is that pushed already? The whatchamacallit? The axe container. It's not textured. Okay, but the model is there, so I can at least work with that, right? Extrude along normals. Inwards. Recalculate from the outside. And then same thing here. Okay. Separate. Actually, I'll do this first. Take this. Fill. Whoops. One more time. Fill. Then select white separate. So that's a separate piece. And then recalculate from the outside, and there we go. Do you want to push it? Yeah, sure thing. Push it so I can work with the model by itself. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. This is top. All right, and we're gonna set origins to center of mass. That's good. Exploded. Nice. All right, so the export location, it's not assets, it's engine, models, items, and this is battery exploded 12V. And then the export is going to be once again obj, and then that's it. Oh yes. Let's add triangulation. Export. Beautiful. Okay, so the setup for this should be the same. As a matter of fact, we can probably make a new inherited scene. Let me try this. So, save scene, no, new inherited scene. And take the top. Okay, we're gonna call this 12 volt top. Okay, and then this, we need to make a unique collision shape. And the model has to be different, or material. So this is battery. Interesting. Fascinating. All the UVs are messed up? Huh. Okay, fair enough. Guess we'll just work with this. Okay, and then we're also going to make a new inherited scene. I guess we could do from the top as well. Bottom. Okay. Make the shape unique. Bring that up. Bottom. Okay. Cool. Except the scenes. Maybe we'll just rename it. Okay. What's happened here? There we go. And then, of course, we got to go to the code. We got to go to the battery. And then modify this. Now, this is curious. Should we make a new piece of code for the exploded battery? It would be identical. We just need to select which scenes we would use. Nah, that's fine. Battery 55 volts. Duplicate 12 volts. Okay, and then we go to the actual 12-volt battery. And then, interesting. And then we'll tell it to use this script. And then this will be preloading the other type. Perfect. Which we also need to modify this number, the overcharge number for the small battery. So that should be fine. The rest is the same. So if we go to test area, testing sandbox. Okay, now I'm going to place a bunch of these for a reason. Just like that. Because we also need to make the explosion push a bunch of rigid objects around. So that's going to be important. Let's give it a go. Oh boy. What the heck? What? What happened there? Oh, the amount was already larger. It's -1, which makes it be past the largest number. Cool. We need to make it not have such a large amount. Whoa. Set it to like 2. Could have sworn I had more over here. Okay, plug that in. Okay. Well, that worked. I don't know where the other piece went. It went somewhere. Now, we do have a problem that we now can't actually insert anything into the machine, so let's figure that out. Let's see. It has a generic item receptacle, which has its own piece of code. It detects when body enters and leaves, and it looks like when the body leaves, nothing happens. So maybe we can say when the body leaves, my item becomes null. Okay. Maybe when the item leaves, and if my item is the body that has left, that's important. Then it becomes null. You still using that something? Sorry, your comment got cut off, unfortunately. Okay, so can we insert? No? Okay, well that's weird. Huh. That is very strange. Body exited. Something exited. Generic receptacle. The Blender tool. Well, Blender as in the entire software together, or are you talking about a particular plugin in Blender? Okay, let's pick it up. And then we can't plug it in anymore. Something exited generic receptacle. Oh, I think I know why. We disable the collision. Disable false. And then also when we pick something up, disable false. That's why. There we go. The tool used to cut vegetables. The tool in Blender. I have absolutely no idea what tool you're talking about. The tool used to cut in vegetables. Okay, it's still refusing to detect. Yeah. May use this tool to cut steak. The knife tool? Okay. If my item is the body. Oh, maybe. Yo, man. Knife is too violent of a word. We gotta protect the feelings of all the soy boys in the chat. Okay. So, my item, when it enters, if it's not null, so it's got something in it, it returns. It does print it, so it knows when something leaves. What else does it need to pass? Ignore an item that was just picked up because it's going to get reinserted by accident. It's going to ignore it the first time. Huh. It's got to be storable. Let me maybe place a breakpoint here. Let's see. I don't think that breakpoint's going to trip. It's on an empty line. Okay, so pick that up. Insert. Yeah, okay. Well, let me do a quick test. Just control test. Verify that we've got the right behavior. Misbehavior. Insert. Take it out. Insert. Yes, that works. Take it out. Insert. All right. Now, start spinning. That should explode. Any day now. I don't think it's charging. Yeah, that needle's not moving. Insert. Nope. Okay. What if it's a different battery? Oh, now it doesn't want to detect it at all. Okay. Weird. My item is the body. If it's not null, and it is the body, my item becomes null, and then disable is turned off. Oh, it could be that we're experiencing the same issue where I have to enable or disable the shape using call deferred. Yep, can't change the state. Right. Okay, Control Shift D. Enable collision. Yeah, so when there's a collision taking place, we can't enable or disable the shape. Well, take that, insert, take it out, insert. Okay. Now, hypothetically, that should be charging now. So now we have something broken with the... Oh. Well. The heck? Can't change state while flushing queries. Use call deferred. Right. Call deferred. If I'm not an idiot, I will use it correctly. And now it's broken. Call. There we go. Yeah. insert. Right, so that's an unrelated issue. There we go. All right. So now what? Well, now we need to figure out what's happening here. Let's see if it still has a reference to my item. There's only one of these things, so our output shouldn't be flooded. My item is null. Uh-huh. So we've inserted it. Oh. Okay. Interesting. So when we insert it, we disable the collision shape. And because we disable the collision shape, it treats it as the body exiting. And that clears it. Huh. That's a problem. What can we do to mitigate this? That's why this was pointless to do, because we disable the collision shape upon entry, but to pick something up, we actually grab it, we hold it. That's the problem. So this is actually completely useless then. Like, there's no point to have that at all. We could probably just take this, get rid of the signal, body exited. Yeah, there's no point in doing that. Okay, so in that case, we have a process function. If it's not null, check if this item has been picked up again or destroyed. So we can say if it's not instance valid or it is held, then it will reset. So we already had everything we needed. Interesting. So why did that not work? Plug it in. Then it has a valid reference. And I'm gonna blow it up. Oh, and now it's freed object, which isn't really null. So that's why it's not working. So if freed, okay, so if it isn't a valid instance or is instance freed, I think there's a method. Is instance valid? Get previous commits. Queued. Is queued for deletion. I figured this should handle it, isn't it? Print instance invalidated. It's not complaining about us toggling the state anymore. So let's see. Let's see one more time. Okay. No. Okay. So it works if we take it out. Okay. So it says freed object. And I don't see the print command, which means it is a valid instance. Can we do or my item is queued for deletion, if that's true? Yep. Okay. Or it's held, then it does this. Okay. Read. Okay. Now the question is, did it detect it at least once? Nope. Would have printed it. Okay, so I guess we're gonna have to look this up. Let's see. Godot check if instance is free. Is instance valid? Ah, this is probably being failed. Okay, so if it is null, or if it's not null, well, that's the condition, though. I think if it's freed instance, it is technically not null. Print instance not null. Oh boy. Okay. Let's work with a smaller one. Uh-huh. So yeah, this will fail because apparently as soon as we queue free an instance, it becomes null. Okay, so else, if it is null, then we can say if disabled is true, disabled becomes false. One-time event. I think that should do it. All right. I'm putting my trust into it. That's why I'm deleting the print commands. Pick it up, place it down. It is charging, though. Okay. Nice. Ooh. And then, beautiful. And then you can see we can place the next one. That works. And then this explodes. Now we can place this. That's going to charge. And then that explodes. I don't see anything bouncing, though. Okay, cool. What should we do next? Well, we have the explosion, and I think it needs to make a whole bunch of stuff fly around a bit. So, where's our explosion? Here we have if body is in group, local player group. We can also perform a check if something is an item. So, grabbable, storable. Grabbable. Grabbable includes both inventory storable items and crates and boxes and all that good jazz. So if it is grabbable, then body.apply central impulse. We need to apply the central impulse from global position to direction to the body, global position, and then multiplied by randef range between 1 and 5. Okay, so that should make it fly in the opposite direction. Oh, it moved some stuff. Let's do between 5 and 10. Could also be that some of the items are going to sleep. Rigid bodies tend to do that. Plug that in. Because the explosion from a small battery shouldn't be as big as one for a large. It does move stuff. But I feel like it also moves it into the ground, which causes it to stop. Let's... Let's multiply it by vector 3 of 1, 0, 1. Let's add vector 3. So x and z stays 0. And then for the y, we're going to make it go between 2 and 6. So it's going to go up, regardless of if the exploding battery is above the item. Nice. Okay. I mean, it works. What should we do next? Next, we need to base the explosion on distance. Distance to the player. Let's see. So we have cam wiggle. That's part of the player code. Cam wiggle, whoops. We have amount. That's the strength of it. And we have speed. That's the speed of dissipation. Let's do fade speed. Okay. So, what is the amount that we're actually feeding into it? Explosion 10. Okay, so let's make it be based on the distance. Let's see, we have the explosion. We have a collision shape. That collision shape has a radius. Okay. So, make explosion be based on distance from center. So var explosion scalar. So it's going to be a value between 0 and 1. We're going to talk to the collision shape, talk to the shape, and then talk to the radius of that shape. Okay, now that's the maximum. We need to figure out the distance between the explosion and the body. So global position dot distance to body dot global position. That's going to give us a distance to that object. We're going to divide it by the radius, and that's going to give us a scalar value between 0 and 1. Which we can multiply by the strength, and that should produce a shake proportionate to how close we are to the object. Okay. I think for the sake of sanity, we can hide grab ray. We can hide craft object ray, melee damage ray. Yeah. Just hide all these ray casts. Cool. Okay, how big is this? Oh, we wouldn't be able to see it until we step away. Okay, so we stay over here. Uh-huh. Okay, that's interesting. The explosion is... Okay. Persisted, but it went away. That seems a little small, to be honest. Explosion... At least for the shake. The damage, I think, should be smaller. Let's stay over here. Uh-huh. Now, what was the distance? Print S. The scalar value was this. The distance is going to be this. Also, let's not be printing the inserted object. Like that. Don't need that. What are we dealing with here? Come on now. Okay. That's the amount. 0.97. Oh, you know what? I think this means the further we are, the stronger it's going to be. We need to reverse the scalar value. Because it takes the total radius, and it takes us our distance to this explosion and divides it by total radius. So if we're close to the object, we're close to 0. So 0 out of the total radius gives us, yeah, like that, very small amount. Okay, cool. We can simply take this, and then we need to minus 1. Minus something. 1 minus. Is that a function? No? Okay. We can just do 1.0 minus this value. That gives us the explosion scalar. Cool. Another thing we can do to improve on this is to give like a very thick net around the edges of the screen. Okay. Okay, so that was the explosion close. Now, let's get one that's further away. Like this. Okay. I think I can work with that. Next. 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 What do we want to do next? I guess we could do the vignette. Vignette. FPS view. Shader. Enemy distortion strips. Where do we display the dirt? Interface. Nope. Grab indicator. Oh. We're supposed to have an animation player node. Oh, there it is. Shader. Okay, cool. So let's put together a quick strong vignette. I think for the time being this should work. Let's do 1280 by 720. Radial. Yep. I'm gonna do this. Assets, sprites, UI. Explosion vignette. File, export. Hungu. Engine. Sprites. UI. Cool. Let's go to the shader. Texture rect. Apply this here. Make it full rect. And then for starters, we're going to make it like this. Okay, now, I think being able to control this separately would be good. Okay, so this is where we add to the explosion vignette. We don't have this variable yet. We are simply going to add to it this amount. Okay, so 1001, that's where that variable is located. And then we do camera, I believe this is in camera effects, camera process, screen dirt animation, yep. So explosion vignette. Where is it? It's in shader. Yes. So modula.a, we're going to smoothly transition it to this value divided by 10. Okay, and then what we're going to do here is say if this value is above 0. I don't think we need to do smooth transitioning here. We can probably just do slow dissipation. So minus, probably just do the value is equals to clamped version of this value minus 0.5 times delta. And then it's going to be clamped between 0 and whatever the current value is. Actually, probably 1 would be more appropriate. Okay. All right, so now we have add explosion vignette. Probably do it like this. Okay, now we can really just add like a maximum number of 1.0, which means we can just use explosion scalar to add to this. Okay, that works. Okay, we could probably make it decrease slightly slower. Explosion here. Where do we decrease it? Here. 0.2. Yeah. I think that works. What else should we do? We have purlin noise. No, we don't. I'm thinking we could potentially add explosion vignette and then explosion smoke. Okay, now for the explosion smoke, I think this can just be an image, right? Change type. Color rect. Maybe it can be an image. We'll have to see. So let's do reset material. Let's give it a shader material. No, let's do canvas material. Actually, sorry, shader material, but it has to be a visual shader. Yes. So this is going to go to shaders. Visual shaders. Okay, so this is smoke screen underscore smoke. All right, let's open that up. First things first, image or texture. Texture parameter. That should appear as a parameter, right, as long as we actually make use of it. Texture 2D. Output here. There's the parameter. Okay, so here we can give it a noise. Uh-huh. This is color. I think we also need to do either regular UVs or screen UVs. It's got to be screen UVs. Really? Oh, right. It would make sense if we gave it an actual texture. In that case, there we go. No UVs. That's perfectly fine. We'll just use the UVs of the actual space. Now, I don't want it to be super stretched like this. What can we do to mitigate that? We could set... We need to make it seamless. 1280. 720. Okay, so we match the resolution of the noise to the resolution of the screen. Okay, so that works. And then what else do we need? Well, we actually need two of these textures because I want to make a rising smoke type deal. So I'm going to have to duplicate it. We are going to add or multiply? Multiply. This would be multiply vector because we're dealing with RGB, except not 3 vectors. Okay, we take this, and then take that, and then apply it to the color. Okay, which means we need to actually copy this, but the noise has to be made unique, and then we need to offset it. There we go. Beautiful. Now, what we need to do here is we need to make this this whole thing, this whole shader, we need to make it additive. Now, blend or multiply. There we go. Okay. I think that should be okay. So we need to be able to blend this in and out. So I'm gonna add color parameter, brightness. We're gonna multiply one more time. We'll multiply the output by the color. Okay, we're gonna set it to white, or actually maybe not multiply, maybe we need to add. And then you can see because it's multiply, if it's anything brighter than black, it's just going to disappear. Okay, now we can go technically a step further. We can make use of the vignette that we just created. This would be sprites, explosion vignette. We can take this color. We can add the two of these together. And then this gets added over here. This is not data, this is color. Okay, now that doesn't affect it quite as well. subtract, multiply. Let's keep it halfway. Ooh. Interesting. That's not what I need though. Do we need to invert it? One minus. Oh yeah. Yeah, that literally does nothing. Oh, you know what? Technically, color-wise, that is a solid color. We have to use alpha. There we go. That's right, because alpha, the transparency value, is actually a totally separate component. Okay, now that technically works, but we can't use color here. It doesn't have enough range. So let's do parameter. This is going to be a float parameter. That's going to be much more useful. And then we can do this. And then that can just fade in and out. Ryan, Flynn, good day. Okay, now that's fantastic, except we now need to get some motion here. So, let's get time. We need to take the UVs of this whole image. We need to add to the UVs. This has to be a vector 2. Okay. Right, and then we're adding time on the Y component. Now that could be simply so fast that we can't actually see it. So let's multiply. We're going to do multiply float 0.01. Oh, that's a triple addition. Multiply add. I just need to add. There we go. That's going to add across all 3 axes. So we need to do compose, vector 3 compose. We are only going to be composing actually a vector 2 and only on the y-axis. Add that up here and then add that here. Almost. Samsung wants to hire you. Why? Is this a background? Is this a Samsung background I don't know about? Okay, that looks really cool. The vertical streaks. We can probably make use of this in another game. Okay, what's happening here? So we take the UVs. It's a vector 2. Take time, multiply it by a small number. Make a new vector. And then, oh, I think I know why. It's because the whole image has to be set to repeat. Enable. Yes. Repeat. Enable. There we go. Enable. Perfect. Okay, so now we can scale this up. Now that seems like it's exactly identical, which we don't want it to be. So we need to make this unique. Go inside, and then the noise need to be made unique as well. There should be no offset here. There we go. Okay. Not bad. Now, I don't want just a little bit of scaling. So we're going to have to duplicate this. Control D. Yep. Okay. Duplicate this. and this is gonna go into the other UVs, except like that. Except the speed has to be different. Okay, and then we can control how much of this effect is in front of us. Alrighty. Because of exploding batteries. Ah, okay. Now I get it. Okay, cool. So we know that we need to be at -1 in order for there to be no effect. 0, and then 1. Or maybe even like 2. Okay, got it. So let's get back to here. We're going to need to talk to the float parameter, which is located in this node. Dot material dot set. I'm going to set this parameter with, can we remap value? Yes, okay. So this is a custom function that we had copy pasted from an educational website. Allows us to supply a number and then tell it what is the ending value, which is 1.0, and then remap it to, let's see, so it's 3 fully visible, and then -1 is invisible, so like this. I think that should do it. Oop. Okay, that works. Maybe a little bit much. Let's go 1.5. Yes, when we're close. Yeah, I'd say that works pretty well. And then if we're going to plug this one in and step away a bit, so we're not so close, this should be a lot less. Yeah, there you go. And then if we're in the middle distance, like this, nice. Okay. That works pretty well. Ooh, all right. I think we still need to do some other stuff for the exploding batteries. We need to add smoke. We need to add the explosion, which we, instead of searching for explosion animated textures, we might as well try to make a shader, an explosion shader. I think the lifespan of the particle should be available to us within the shader so that we can use it to propagate the fade effect of a particle. But I think that should be okay. What we're going to do now is switch gears to putting together a new set of hands. Okay. All right. So I'm going to have to restart the video. And there we go. So, hands. I'm going to see if I can match the hands to what I have here already, so that I don't have to reanimate and re-rig everything. I love Godot. Hell yeah, dude. You and me both. Alright. Now, this set of hands was derived from a placeholder, non-gender specific placeholder model from Make Human. I think these hands are actually a little too feminine. So we're gonna see about doing a sculpt of something much more fitting, but we're gonna see if we can fit it to the existing geometry rig so that I don't have to reanimate everything. Okay? Hopefully we can make it work. Now, what do I want to do here? I want to make it wire. Oof. Okay, that might be kind of distracting, to be honest. Now I have a Pure board created specifically containing some references for hands, so we can borrow the best details. Hand. There we go. All right, so we got wrinkles and shapes and dimensions, all sorts of good stuff. Oh, look at that. Look at that giant throbbing vein. You can tell this thing does a lot of slapping. All right. Looks like we're already working in local coordinates. Okay, I'm gonna have to hide the palm for the time being. Uh, let's just, I guess we could just do this. It's kind of a variety of different ways to pull this off. Just gonna grab this. Scale-wise, we'll come back to that. Seems to be okay. We'll have to see. All right, let's get back to this guy. So we know that the webbings go a little bit past the finger, the top part, like this. And then the tops, on the other hand, retract a bit. Mm-hmm. We should be able to make some small minor adjustments to the positions of the bones. Okay, we're not going to worry about that right now. As long as just overall the general location of the fingers kind of matches up, I think that should be good. Yeah, sure. Okay. Let's make this a cube. Sure. Just gonna make it a line. Rotation. Should probably do the middle finger first, actually. It's a good starting base. I'm not sure if that's really necessary. Okay. Hmm. Those are pretty long ass fingers. Um, the length of the finger from the tip to the base is about the same as the length of the palm. So in that regard, that seems to match up. Mm-hmm. Now the trend I'm noticing with fingers is that they kind of bulge out around the um, joints, and then they thin out in the middle. Now these are some starved fingers, but I do see that trend appearing in multiple cases. This one seems to be a little bit more fed, but yeah. joints seem to be a little bit wider. All right. Let's make sure we only scale the joints. Okay. I think we can pull that off if we use percentage. There we go. Okay. That's a good starting point. Join. And then we're going to remesh. Okay. Just need the base brush. So there seems to be quite a lot of space here. And the thumb basically spawns off right from the wrist. We are going to have to place some knuckles, but not now. For that, we have to know where the fingers actually are. Okay, what's the shortcut for the base brush? X. Okay, just going to remesh. That's good. Okay, so for the moment, hide the armature. There we go. All right. Smooth it out. Just a touch. Now we are technically dealing with a survival situation, so we probably would end up seeing some pretty starved hands. That's texture reference. Okay. Here we go. The top of the finger, it's not really a perfect cylinder. It's a bit flattened at the top. And then it's technically just a touch flattened at the bottom as well. Okay. The axis of the camera don't really line up. I think if I do Shift 7, then yeah, okay. Shift 7 goes to the front, Shift 3 goes to the bottom, and then I think from that point on, any camera rotation is in relation to the object axis. I'm gonna worry about that for now. Uh, this is very strong. Clay strips. Thinging on the sides. This is where the clay strips actually comes in super handy, because it creates a non-uniform texture. It's not perfectly smooth. Should probably remesh this. Give us more voxels to work with. Alrighty. Oh god. We've had record enabled this entire time. Stop it. Stop it. Okay. Just gonna sort of place where the fingers are, or the knuckles are. Just gonna make the transforms be based around the 3D cursor. Looks like the axis got slightly messed up. All right, fair enough. I wanted to inflate it. As a matter of fact, I think we can inflate it using this. Okay, now we should probably make sure that our FOV is set to something resembling normal camera view. Okay, and now that we have this, I'm just gonna move this out of the way. I think the pink is too small. Also, the finger has to roll. Hmm. So all these fingers have to roll in the direction of the palm curve. As you can see, they're all twisted. Okay, now it doesn't quite match up position-wise with the armature, but I think, again, we'll probably be able to just move the bones into the appropriate locations, and hopefully the rotations of the existing animations would be okay. If anything, at least the bulk of the animations would be in place, and we'll just have to, you know, fix up some of the hands, some of the intricate positions. Okay, so let's see. I think I might have copied the fingers a little too soon. I also think that doing the entire hand all in one go is not quite yet a possibility. I have to make a lot more of these to get to that point. It is a toe-looking finger. I'm going to make sure that I do front faces only. Okay, it's a little bit better. Let's get all the nails in first. Okay, now these nails are really, really slim, flat. Nails have a bit of a curvature to them. They're like half cylinders. Hands are tough to get right. Yes, there's also a lot of little nuances that I have yet to learn, but I can compare to the hands I've done previously, and I can definitely see an improvement. So it's getting there. My pen pressure's not working. That's a bummer. Whew. That is a one trimmed nail. Let's bring that back. Actually, that's a toe, is what that. God damn. Okay. Okay. Let's ease up on the size there. And what else? I think overall it has to get slimmer. And then the joint comes in, gets a little thicker. And then here. A bit flat. And supposed to be a growth here. Okay, I think we can come back to this at a later date. I think we at least got the fundamentals. that's it. I'd say this is a solid start. We still have to do tendons and knuckles, um, wrinkles, all that good stuff. But I think we can handle that in the next session. Not bad. I'd say pretty decent progress for one single go. One day. We still got 2 more days. That should be, I'd say that should be pretty good progress. There we go. Once we add smoke, also, that's going to be handy. Okay, cool. That's it. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll continue this in the next one.